Hey everybody, this is me again doing another live stream for tonight. I'm Todd and Barnett here, here in my home in Chesterfield, Michigan. It's actually Chesterfield Township. A lot to discuss here and a lot to go on here and everything. I'm just gonna go into a couple of topics tonight. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on them. Well, I have publicly announced some changes going on, and it all started yesterday. Some drama unfolded, and it was enough to convince me to make some corrections, change my mind, however you want to put it. And basically, what I've decided to do at this point of the game is to switch my support from Austin Peterson to John McAfee, who is far more libertarian. I was trying to sell Austin Peterson the best way I knew how, and I did what I could, despite a number of my misgivings. And, I tried to put on a face that, maybe it could work. But after, what happened yesterday and what was going on at the end of the day, I decided at the end of the day, when all was said and done, I just couldn't bring myself to stick around with a bunch of supporters who were, for the life of me, fucking ungrateful, and a bunch of people who were very childish, very juvenile, very immature, and who were on the verge of fucking it up, fucking everything up. And I wanted Austin to become more hardcore radical along the lines of John McAfee. I was pretty much hinting it. I don't know if anybody picked up on it, but but at the end of the day, when all was said and done, it just wasn't going to work. So Austin Peterson lost my support and my endorsement, and I wasn't doing this just to make myself look good or because it seemed like the popular thing to do or whatever. I wasn't doing that. If I wanted to look good, I would go on Fox News and just make myself look good, put some pancake makeup on and, oh, I'm a pretty little guy here, and my strings are being pulled left and right, So I just didn't want to do that. And I figured that it was time for me to come out and say that I support John McAfee. He is a Libertarian presidential candidate who is married to a former prostitute who is a black woman, by the way. And that, that's the thing, And, that was the thing with me. I just, he to me, he is more libertarian than Austin Peterson. Austin Peterson is, give me a break. He's more of a conservative, trying to sound libertarian, trying to pretend that he's libertarian, trying to act as though he's libertarian, but, I couldn't bring myself to see it. I was basically lying to myself. And, this is a way to tell, a lot of the people, the delegation is going to vote for whoever they want. My feeling is that the way I see it, the way it's going to come down to it, I personally think and politically think that Gary Johnson's going to win the nomination. He's already got William Weld tied up for the nomination, despite what the polls say. He's going to win it. It is in flux, according to one delegate with whom I'm very good friends with. And I hope, I really hope that, it's not the case, but, you're right. I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid. But it's one of those things where I just did what I had to do. And there's a very good reason why I did what I did. And I don't expect anybody to agree with me. That's fine. Just be respectful, just be civil about it. You can agree to disagree, but you don't have to, be, asshole-ish or a jerk about it. Because at the end of the day, it's become a disappointment for me. I did what I had to do, and I'm standing by it now, and I don't care what anybody says. And I started to have my doubts about what was going on in the group. But, you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, I'll go into that next time. I'm just not ready to admit what happened. I'm really not there. I'm still trying to process everything that happened. But I'm going to say this. There was the Libertarian National Convention in Florida. It's going on right now. They had the pre-debate forum, I guess, however you want to put it. And from the looks of it, Gary Johnson standing at 35% tonight. He won the straw poll there. Peterson came in second. He's 24%. Darryl W. Perry was around 16%, or actually it was more like 18%. Either way, he was like in third place. McAfee, I don't know. At this point, if the Libertarian Party doesn't get it together on voting for a very solid candidate without courting to the conservative vote, and also draw in independents, and I've been saying this for a long time now, that, I don't know. Well, sorry, Dave. I'm doing the best I can here. But that's the thing, though, I can't go any further and say, look, we have a problem here, and I'm just looking at my face in the phone here, so I don't see a camera lens pointed at me. So that's the whole thing. There were some other things that happened. I'm not at liberty to go into it right now, because I want to maintain the peace right now. If I have to, I'll just wait for maybe a month or two after, everything settles down and whoever is running, whoever wins, get the campaign. If Johnson wins, well, I think the LP blew its shot. And you got to go with what you've got, Dave, and everybody else. So, hello, Lauren. You're probably pissed at me, so that's fine. Um, but those are the figures. A convention delegate. Um, you know, the convention delegate sent me a photo of Gary Johnson speaking. And one of the reasons why I could never wrap my head around Gary Johnson this time around was because of his pick of William Weld. William Weld is horrible. William Weld is, um, you know, he's terrible. He is absolutely terrible. I mean, on the gun issue, on the Second Amendment issue, why is Gary Johnson, of all people, marrying his campaign to a fucking gun grabber? Can anybody explain that to me for once? Can anyone, including you, God, can you explain that to me for once? No? Okay. So, that's, I just don't get it. Okay, I've been trying to wrap my head around this whole thing the entire time. And the Gary Johnson supporters are like, well, we got to have somebody elected to office who has experience. We've elected experienced people before. And you know something? They haven't done anything to get the state out of the business of our lives. They keep expanding it. They keep expanding the deficits, the budgets, the spending. The federal debt clock keeps going up and up and up. It's ballooning faster than anybody realizes. So, I'm sorry, but William Weld, well, that may be Glenn, but something, well, actually, I take that back. I don't think he really explained it. More importantly, I don't think he's really satisfactorily explained it. He thinks that by having somebody, having him in the Libertarian Party, it's going to bring great business for the party. It's going to bring recognition, the likes of which the party never had. But you know something? That may be true, but there's a price to be paid for it. Right now, what's going on in the convention is people are battling for the soul of the fucking Libertarian Party. It's that simple. They are battling for the soul of the party. They are. You might as well just get your. You might as well just get your rifles out, or whatever, or your bazookas, and fight each other over this. Because this is the craziest thing that's gonna happen. We're going to elect a candidate who we're going to nominate a candidate. He's going to be putting on the image, and the people are going to think, oh, now libertarians are anti-gun. Since when did this happen? Before they were pro-gun, now they're anti-gun. And why we think they're anti-gun? The presidential nominee's own Veep is anti-gun. He hates the Second Amendment. He would love to take a piss or a shit on the Second Amendment if he had his way. So it's I don't get it. And yeah, well, Ethan, I did, and for a lot of good reasons. And my suggestions got ignored the whole time. I made a few suggestions, not too many, maybe 2 or 3 out of the whole bunch, and they just got ignored. and that was it. So I don't care. I just gotten to the point now where I just don't care anymore. You know, um, you know, yeah. Well, you know what? We all don't live in Massachusetts. Um, you know, I will tell you right now, Glenn. It doesn't matter whether he was respecting his constituents. We all don't live in Massachusetts. I don't give a fuck what Massachusetts wanted at the time in the 1990s. It's not the 1990s anymore. This was before Mitt Romney. Okay? You have the Ernie Hancocks of Arizona. Okay? You have C.D. Tavares, one time who had Eric Dundero, you know, the supposed founder of the Republican Liberty Caucus, being interviewed on the radio back around 2002, 2003. And guess who was mentioned during that broadcast? Okay? William Weld. His name was mentioned because CD dropped it on Eric Dundero, and Eric tried to defend William Weld across the board. And even though he didn't say anything, okay, we all didn't see it then, but I knew the shit was going to hit the fan sooner or later. So I tried to ignore it. And yeah, I did jump the Peterson ship. I didn't plan initially to join the Austin Peterson group. I was brought in by Bryn Beamick, who chose not to go to the convention. She wouldn't tell me why she wasn't going to go to the convention. She said, well, her excuse was that she was traveling somewhere. And I think something pissed her off. I could be wrong. I might be reading too much into it. And, you know, and something happened, you know, along the way. But that's a side issue. That's besides the point. So what happened was, William Weld's name was brought up in that interview one time. I could probably upload it to a YouTube account and put it out there, the whole interview, and mention that William Weld's name was on it, okay? He was a liberal Republican, okay? He doesn't come off as a real die-in-the-wool, philosophical libertarian. He doesn't, okay? I don't care what people say. But I guess no one's going to agree with me, so whatever. You know, I'm going to do what I have to do and say what I have to say and just look the other way. But whatever happens at the convention, I've got projects lined up for me. I've got a screenplay I got to finish writing. I've got shit. I promised myself that I would write a stage play. I got to get that finished. And I've got some stuff to write as well. As for my blog, it'll keep going. But we're gonna do it. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Well, David, this is what the philosophy holds of libertarianism. It holds that people who are, you know, people who are libertarian are basically those who want the government to be limited to the maximum amount possible. We're talking, we want maximum freedom, extremely limited government. Some anarchists have twisted it in some ways where they said, well, we just want to get rid of government and that's it. Well, that sounds great, but how are you going to get that in? How are you going to carry that out? Okay, so are we going to have a free market police force? Are we going to have a free market court system? Are we going to have, how would, criminals be punished if they commit crimes like rape, murder, theft, that sort of thing, or violation of private property rights? How are they going to be carried out? And and then and that's what a libertarian is: somebody who wants the government not only out of the boardroom, because if I'm making shitloads of money, and I hope to make shitloads of money one day, who the fuck are you to tell me what I can and cannot do with that money? Why should I give it all away to the government? So, and plus, it's also, and it's not just that, but keep the government out of my bedroom. If I want to sleep with 20 different people in the room and have a freaking orgy that would actually do shitloads of acting, and we can put it on in a porno tape and sell it to Vivid Video, okay, the porn distributor, I should be able to do it. So this is what libertarianism actually means, but there's also personal responsibility attached to it. You've got to be responsible for your actions. You've got to hold yourself accountable to your actions. And that also comes with it as well. And I don't want the government involved in my bedroom, Dave. But they do. I don't want Ted Cruz telling me, let's say if I were transgender, okay, and I know this is a big issue that's been concerning a lot of people for, like a month or two, something like that, along those lines. I go to the bathroom. I decide to use a public bathroom. I decided to call myself Miranda because my soul says, deep down inside, I feel I should have been born as a woman and not as a man if I were transgender. I'm actually, very happy with my sex as well as my sexuality, but that's a whole different story. So let's deal with this issue that I have here. Let's say, for the sake of it, let's say I decided, because I feel that I'm a woman, I decide to go to the woman's bathroom because I identify myself as a woman, but I was born with male genitalia. I haven't gone through the whole surgery yet to be fully converted into a woman. What are you going to do? You're going to have a cop sitting between the men's restroom and the women's restroom here, and he's going to either stand or sit, and if I come up to the restroom, he goes, hold on. Which restroom are you going to go into, men or women's? Put on your pants. I want to see your junk. Now, imagine the scenario at a Walmart or at a Target, and I can reference Target on this because of what's been going on with Target a little bit in the last couple of days or so. But let's say you pull down your pants and you show him your junk. Little Johnny is with his mommy, and he's right by the cart, and she's pushing him to the exit doors, and he happens to see my ass and my junk pulled down because my pants are pulled down, and he's inspecting it for a second, and then I start pulling up, and the kid goes, mommy, look at that guy was showing his pee-pee. Okay, so I mean, it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm all in favor of anybody using any bathroom. That's the part of the problem that we've got government regulating what bathrooms to have. If you have a unisex bathroom, that would probably, end the discussion right there. Just one person going to the bathroom, or actually, if you had more than one unisex bathrooms, so that you wouldn't have a line of people waiting outside saying, gee, I need to go use the restroom. I need to go potty, okay? Then you could make the argument, hey, then you wouldn't have to be worried about, somebody looking at your pee-pee while you're peeing, okay? But something, transgender people have been using, regular bathrooms for the longest time. The only reason it's being made into an issue is because it's become a frickin' civil rights issue. It's a civil rights issue. And something, and it's turned into a civil rights issue because Republicans hate people who are transgender. They also hate gay people. They'll say, well, it's the gay agenda and they're all politically correct. They're only politically correct if they try to force their views on you and force you to accept them. But by and large, most gay people don't do that. What they do is they want to be left alone. And something, in this case, it's the Republicans who are being politically correct. They're being biblically correct. So, exactly. I agree completely. It should be the businesses to decide for that. So, that being said, I think, hey, what are you going to do? But I'm glad Ted Cruz is out. He can go and, for all I know, he's probably manhandling a bunch of other teenage girls, like Dennis Hastert has, with boys. But I didn't hear Ted Cruz condemning Dennis Hastert on that issue. I never heard one peep from the Cruz campaign condemning what Dennis Hastert has done. They're all saying, well, he's innocent until proven guilty. Well, I'm sorry, but, the guy, of course he's being tried for a different crime, and not the crime of the real crime, which is that he molested a kid. But, hey, and my friend here has told me, I'll go into that in a second here, but it's it's really ridiculous. I mean, gay marriage is now becoming more and more accepted in society. First, it was interracial marriage. People were against that completely. Then people started to come around and started to turn their views on it. Now, gay marriage is becoming accepted. You know what really brought out the bigotry against gay marriage? It was when the state of California decided to pass Proposition A, and that was funded by the Mormon Church, that is the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I mean, and the Church of Scientology of California, and also the Obama voters, who were principally African American, who voted against gay marriage, and because of that, because of that referendum that passed, and it should never have passed, but thankfully the Supreme Court just basically said, no, that's unconstitutional. it's wrong. And they took it all the way to the Supreme Court, and that's what the Supreme Court is saying. They tried to take it to the state Supreme Court in California, and the state court upheld it. Then when they took it to the federal Supreme Court, that's when things started to change. So conservatives are going to have to get on board on the gay marriage, or getting the government out of marriage completely, or marriage equality entirely, and get out of the whole business of if they really want to win elections, they need to stop hating. The Democrats are winning because they've got the moral high ground on this issue. And they deserve to have the moral high ground, because Republicans don't care about the middle class. They don't care about the people who are poor, and the reason why people are poor is because of government intervention, and government intervention has kept people on the bottom rungs by taxing everybody to death so that no new businesses can be created, so that no business owner can hire poor people and bring them out of poverty and ascend them to levels of affluency, so they could actually do that. So, that's the whole point. And Republicans don't. They care about the wealthy, but the Democrats care about the uber wealthy. But the reason why they're getting away with the poor issue is because they pretty much have used that as an angle, right? They pretty much used it to win elections, and that's how they're winning. And that's why they're sucking badly at it. Anyway, that's all I got to say on this one. So I'm going to call it a night here. I've got some things to do, but this is the best part about it. And whatever happens at the LP convention, I hope things turn around. If they don't, then I guess, I guess. I'm disappointed. I wish, that's the thing that really pisses me off about a lot of Libertarian candidates who go into the race at the last minute. We should have started fielding candidates early last year. The other parties do it early last year. Why are we always the ones who are behind? What the fuck is wrong with us? Jesus Christ, Libertarians, why aren't you getting ahead of the curve on this? What the fuck, man? Anyway, that's all I got to say. Carry on, folks.